Hey guys, welcome back. Got a pretty unique car in the garage I want to show you guys today. Let's get to it. A brief history of what I know about this car before we go on a quick tour. This is a 1981 Audi 4000 turbo diesel. What makes it interesting is that it's a 5-speed car. It's got a 1/81 build date, so very early car. And I've been told this is a promotional vehicle for Audi Volkswagen back in the day, and potentially could have been a test mule for emissions. The engine bay, which we'll see in a minute, has some EGR equipment, which I've never seen on any of these cars before, which are very few anyway. But that's I know so far. And it showed up at Carlisle 2010 on a dolly in our show field. And between then and now, the car has changed hands a few times. And that's when I acquired it. So when it was at Carlisle, it was on the dolly. It had a hole in the block. God knows why. So the car traded hands a few times, and the most recent owner had acquired a lot of parts for it, done a lot of work to it, but didn't put things back together and was ready to get rid of it. So I was approached about it, asked if I wanted a project to work on to bring it back. I said, sure. So 3 months ago, the car arrived at me with basically long block in the engine bay and the rest of the car full of totes with parts. So think about putting together a 1,000-piece puzzle with no box to go off of. The parts diagrams for this engine are sparse, and some things I can't even find pictures of. So finding parts, finding where the nuts and bolts went, etc., has been very difficult. One saving grace is that when the car was at Carlisle 12 years ago, I took some engine bay photos, and it's crazy to think that today the same car is in the garage, and those pictures I took long ago have helped put this thing back together. So just luck would have it, it's a pretty unique and rare car, and it's in my garage, and we're slowly bringing it back to life. So that's a quick synopsis of the car. Let's go on a quick tour. All right, we'll start outside. This is Helios Blue Metallic, which you don't see too much of on a 4000. You see it more in some of the Quattros of the vintage as well, but very pretty color. I think it'll buff up pretty nice. You can see a team door handle is present on this car. Only 2 door handles really work. No trigger there. Vent windows, which are pretty cool. Never actually owned a car with these. Moving forward, we got nice 13-inch wheels. These are the original wheels. The center caps are missing though. Engine bay. This is a 1.6 liter turbo diesel, which was found in a lot of Volkswagens back then too. This is actually made to a 5-speed, which makes it pretty neat, interesting from an Audi perspective. Everything you see here has taken a few months of work, sourcing parts, looking at diagrams, talking to folks. So I couldn't have done it without a lot of you guys. The block itself was a replacement block. It's a CY engine code, and the proper block was sourced, rebuilt. The head on the car is original to the car. That was rebuilt as well. Same with the injection pump. That was rebuilt. Everything here is pretty much good to go. Timing service, injection pump was timed as well. Accessory belts, intake, turbo, if you can see it down there, that was rebuilt as well. So the only thing missing from here really are the radiators. There's actually two of them. One sits here. 5-cylinder guys, you would probably be familiar with this. It's actually a bit narrower than the 5-cylinder radiator to make room for the injection pump. That's the main one, and there's one up front, which almost looks like a larger auxiliary radiator on the 5-cylinders, but they each have their own fan, which is interesting. So those are in there. They're ready to go in. Just wanted to shore some things up in the bay before I toss those back in there. So moving along the driver's side of the car, body's in pretty decent shape. You can see a team door handle here as well, making their appearance. We'll get that fixed up. Moving along to the back, standard fairback here, nothing interesting. And don't mind the trunk. This is where I've housed a lot of the parts that I've acquired, don't need, or not going to use. So imagine this being full of shrouds and parts and bins and stuff, and it's been a real treat. A lot of fun trying to figure this stuff out. So that's the exterior. Let's see what's on the inside. All right, moving along inside. Got these, the blue interior, very interesting panels with a different pattern on them. Seats as well. You've got a blue uncracked dash. Don't mind the parts in the cassette when we're doing some work in here. Basic heater controls. A radio that actually belongs in the car. Your normal auxiliary gauges. And the awesome 5-speed gearbox. Instrument cluster. You got your 85 mile per hour speedo, temp and fuel, and a very large clock. So pretty standard fare in here from a early 4000 perspective. There's no sunroof, which makes it quite interesting. I'm a sunroof person myself, but I know they can be troublesome. We all know that. Back seat looks pretty decent in here. Just needs a good cleaning, good vacuum, good shampoo. Need a few parts here and there, but overall the car is very complete. And it should be fun to bring back to life from an interior and exterior perspective. I hope you guys enjoyed the quick tour of the car. A lot more to show, especially in daylight. But done a lot of work so far. So I mentioned like the engine bay, had to source parts. I got parts from the previous owner, had stuff welded together to make it work. It's been a haul because, like I said, some of the parts, they're not even on parts diagrams. So it's been a chore to look at photos, look at ECA and that stuff, and try to shore things up with the car itself. So you saw the engine bay before. It's pretty much ready to see if it runs. We'll do that next week. And aside from that, I've got some parts to rebuild the shifter box in the bottom. Team door handles here, so I got to fix those and really give the car a good cleaning. But once the car runs, then we can move forward with other things. So like I'll go over the brakes, the suspension, and see where we go there. And I'll try to bring you guys along for those things. Honestly, with how things have gone with the car, it's been pretty boring to have you guys watch what I've been doing because it'd mainly be me with a laptop or the Bentley manual, rummaging around in here trying to figure stuff out, and it's not good for content. So there's a lot of things off camera, but some things that I'm familiar with, like interior stuff, the shifter box, will bring you along for. But yeah, follow me on Instagram, Mike's Virtual Garage. I post up a lot of updates on there. You'll see stuff, even sometimes almost daily, what I've been doing in the garage at night. So follow me there if you want to see more content with that. But until then, I appreciate you guys tuning in as always. I want to share this car with you. It's very unique, very interesting. And then until the next one, take care, and we'll talk to you soon. Thanks for tuning in.